Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to see how can we design scalable revenue strategies with block and range based pricing into agent force revenue management. So quickly looking at the agenda, first of all we are going to see an introduction to pricing, then we'll see block based price, range based price, we'll see a use case of each and we'll see a demo as well. At last we'll review the components that we have used while implementing block based price and range based prices. So quick introduction. In Salesforce Agentforce Revenue Management, which is now called ARM, pricing doesn't have to be one size fits all. We're not going to price every product at list price, right? We'll be having some different variation of pricing. Different businesses use tiered models to charge customer based on how much they buy, and that's where the block and range price comes in. Now let's look at block based price. So it is a pricing method where the product cost depend on the block of quantity that's being purchased. Each block of quantity has a fixed total price regardless of number of units within that particular block. You pay a set amount per block, not per unit. Example, a hotel offers event hall packages where the price is fixed per attendee block, not per person. And here is the table. So if the guest count is between 1 to 50, the charge will be $5,000 flat. If it is between 51 to 100, the charge will be $8,000 flat. And if it is 101 to 200, the charge will be USD 12,000 flat for it and no quantity multiplication. So now let's review how can we set up this. So I am in Salesforce and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on browse catalog and let me add the event management package. So I'll take some time and I'll add this corporate event package and let me click save. So currently our quantity will be 1 and the price that we are expecting is I believe 5,000 for the first year. Let's see that. So it's quickly adding the line. It is reviewing the details and now finishing up. In a while we'll be having our quote line added. And here you go. The quote is saved and we have our quote line coming up on line editor. The quantity is 1 and the unit price is 5,000. Now let me make the quantity as 51 since our second tier is starting from 51 and let me just save it. So it's pricing and we'll be getting our price in a while. The request is processing and there you go. We have the code being saved and our price is updated to 8,000. Now let's say let me make it the quantity as 101 and let me save it. And let's see what price comes in. As per our scenario, the price needs to be USD 12,000. And let's see. You can see that the price is 12,000 now and the total price is also 12,000. It is not multiplying, net unit price is not multiplying with the quantity. So that was the block based price. Now let's review the range based price. It is a pricing method where rates vary across defined quantity range. Each range has its own unit price applied only to the units within that range. You pay different rates for each range based on the quantity purchased. And here is an example. A cloud provider charges per GB for the storage, but the price decreases as the per GB consumption increases. So that's an example, and here are the tiers. So if you are consuming between 1 to 100 GB of space, they will charge you $0.10 per GB. Again, the quantity will be multiplied. If you are purchasing something between, or if you are consuming something between 101 to 500 GB of space, you will be charged at 0.08 USD per GB. And 501 onwards, anything that you consume, the storage you occupy, you will be charged at $0.05 per GB. And in each case, quantity will be multiplied. So it is not block, but it is range. So somewhere, let's say you put your consumption or your storage is between, let's say 101 to 500. Let's say you are using 150 GB. then those whole 115 GB of your storage will be charged as 0.08 GB per 0.08 USD per GB. So let's review this. So I'm on the same quote. I'll go and click on browse catalog and let's add cloud storage device. And let me just save this. Let's wait for the lines to be getting added to the quote and it will be added in a while. Let's wait. And there you go. Our quote is saved and we are now saving a cloud storage service. What were my tiers? So my tier were starting from 1 to 100. That is where we are seeing 0.10. And now what we am going to do is I'm going to make the quantity as let's say 105. And let's see what is the price. Now let's review the price once the quote line gets saved. The request is processing. Request is reviewed as well and now the pricing is done. So if you can see over here, the price immediately, net unit price is immediately dropped to 0.08 because it was falling over in the second tier. Now let me make it 210 or 210 and let's review the price once the pricing is completed. So our pricing is completed, the quote line got updated and we must be seeing 0.08. Since it was 200, my bad, let me make it 510 and let's save it. So it remained 0.08 because we were in the second tier only, our quantity was falling in the second tier only. Now let's review because our quantity is now in third tier, the price needs to be 0.05 as per our third tier and you can see that 510 multiplied by 0.05 which will become 2550. So this was the demo and now let's see how I set up this stuff. So first one was corporate event package and on corporate event package I have created a custom field which says the pricing method for this particular product is block. Similarly, I'm having cloud storage service as a product created and it does have pricing method as range. Now we will have to specify the tiers. So for that what I did is I've created a volume based discount price adjustment schedule and I've already created a couple of videos for discounting so you can refer to those videos if you want to know what is price adjustment schedule and price adjustment tier. So now directly going into tiers, but before that let me just show you the effective date is starting 14th of October. The schedule type remains volume and now let's go to related list where I've already defined tiers for cloud storage service where it starts from 1 to 100. The tier type is now override. Previously, in the case of discount, we have used percentage or amount, but over here it is override. That means the net unit price will be overridden by whatever tier value given over here. So it is 0.10. 101 to 500, it is 0.08, and 501 onward, it is 0.05 for cloud storage service, as we have seen in the PPT as well. And for corporate pack, it was 150, $5,000. 51 to 100 it was $8,000 flat and 101 to 200 it is 12,000 USD flat price. Over here we have associated product as well as their selling model and based on that it gets calculated via pricing procedure. Now let's review the pricing procedure. So in pricing procedure what I did is I already added price setting which will be used to identify the object for which we are going to price. Assignment is for assigning the quote start date to effective from date of line item. List price we all know like we are getting the list price using price book entry table and if you want to know list price, subscription price, all those stuff you can go those pricing element you can go to my channel and see one time versus recurring video and there you will get more idea about. So here what we did is I wanted to price both my block and range based price using a single pricing procedure. You can have different pricing procedure as well, but I wanted to use the same pricing procedure and price both the product with the same procedure. I've used the third one as well, which is cumulative per unit, but that we are going to see in next video. So let's go to the first list container in which I have provided a list operation, which is checking pricing method equals block. So pricing method defined on product, I have taken it to the quote line as well using twin fields, and we are going to cover it separately, so we are not talking much on twin fields over here. Out of the box twin fields which were supported in Salesforce CPQ are not supported over here. We'll have to do some workaround for that, or there is a different way to achieve that in ARM, and we are going to see in a separate video. But for now, this pricing method is coming from product to quote line, and here we are checking if it is block. Then what we are doing is we are using the volume discount entries. This is the lookup table that gets created when you add the data over here to volume based discount and tiers, and when you refresh the volume discount entry table, then you will get all the data into volume discount entry table. And I've already shown you how to do that, but let me just still show you where can you find this. So it is necessary for us to refresh the volume discount entries if you want to use volume discount. And once we are done with tier setup, then you have to come over here, go to the volume discount entries decision table. So let me just find it. And then what you have to do is you will have to refresh the table. So let me just show you the refresh link. And over here, there is a refresh button. When you refresh it, your data will be immediately visible over here. It is already there because I have already refreshed it. Then we can use this volume discount entries. We are passing the necessary data to the lookup table, and based on that, we are getting the tiers in which it is falling, and the tiers API name is mentioned in this constant. We have already seen in our previous video how it gets passed, so please check out in the previous video. In case of quantity, when the pricing engine expect quantity, we are passing line item quantity. In unit price, we are passing net unit price of the line item. And in output, the net unit price, whatever is being passed via pricing engine to us, we are storing into net unit price, and in subtotal that is being passed from pricing procedure, it is being stored into item net total price. Now by default, Agentforce Revenue Management supports quantity multiplication. So whatever price that you are adding into net unit price, it will be surely getting multiplied by the quantity. So it will work in the second case where we wanted it to be multiplied by a quantity. But in the first case, when it is a specific price of block, we'll have to avoid quantity multiplication. Now we can't do that because the pricing engine works in that way. But what we can do is I have added an assignment pricing module. You can click on this and find out that module. And what I'm doing is I'm overriding the item net total price with net unit price. So whatever price comes into net unit price, I am setting that price into item net total price as well. And that's where we were getting the net unit price, and we are not getting it multiplied via quantity, and we are seeing the same total price as net unit price. And that is how I configured it. And at last, I'm stopping the element. That means now further, I don't want my line to be priced, which is pricing method as block. So that is how the block price method works. Now let me go to the other pricing list or other list container where I am checking if the pricing method is range. Then what I'm doing is the similar to the one that I'm doing over here. So I'm getting data from volume discount entries, storing it into net unit price, via passing. First of all, I'll pass this data, whatever is coming up, to pricing engine. It will provide us data. And now I wanted it to be multiplied with the quantity, and that's where I'm not doing any assignment. I'm just stopping the pricing. That is how you can make your block price and range-based price working using Salesforce Agentforce Revenue Management. Let's look at the components that we have used while setting up the block and range-based pricing. So component use, we all know context definition is necessary. Then we have used pricing procedure. Under the pricing procedure, we have price setting element, we have list price element, then we have used volume discount element, assignment element to assign or to override the item net total price with the net unit price, and at last we are stopping the pricing, so we are using stop pricing element. Now, which decision tables that we have used? The first of all is price book entries V2 so that we get the list price, and then we have used volume discount entries to get the tiers, read the tiers from price adjustment schedule and tiers, and set the prices. So that is how we have utilized each and every component and made the. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please like and share the content and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you very much.